And here we go. Who's here today?
We have Stephen
Tonight.
Andrews 1 and 2.
Hello, Stephen Andrews 1 and 2.
We have Uncle Doc.
Hello, Uncle Duck. Good to see you.
And we have Believe in Yourself.
Believe. I saw you earlier today. You might need to be a little bit closer to me with the microphone. What does Believe say?
Believe says a man arrives at a custom party with a girl on his back. I am a turtle, he says. What's on your back? That's Michelle. Michelle. Michelle.
Michelle. Okay. Come on, it's Sunday night. I'm a little slow.
Buddy Carapano's here.
Hello, buddy.
Buddy Carapano. Steven Andrews says, Hola, Mrs. Spec and Mrs. Mixes. Every time I say CMS, I just think Mrs.
You have to train your brain for that. Oh, so what's going on tonight, guys?
How long have we been living in this house?
Since 2011.
How many years is that?
15.
And I still don't know the configuration of the light switches on the kitchen.
No. Why would you need to?
Fernando says me too.
Yes, yes, Mr. Two. We know you're here too. SA2. Oh, we got a lot of stuff done today. I cleaned up the backyard, and it's funny because when I went into the planter to sweep up the leaves where the chickens are, the mother hopped out, and the little ones just moved to that side when I was on this side and moved to this side when I was on that side. They didn't touch your grapes though.
Maybe they want something different.
And the one that's in the trunk, I try to get the bread to her, but it doesn't go. So then I take the end of the broom and I push it over. She's not even flinching, not even moving.
CD Burlock says, any spaghetti left?
Hello, CD Burlock. No, that was last night. I finished that last night. Tonight I had chicken wings with barbecue sauce on them. The barbecue sauce had honey. Are we out of that? Or is there still some left?
There's still some.
Okay, so I have one more serving of with that, and I can go back to the other barbecue sauce.
You want a different one? I thought it was the same one.
Nope. I bought the original.
The same container, but a different one.
I bought the original without the honey in it. See, that truck you're looking at could look like this with a new paint job. Although this truck is available. The really nice one is available, and it's a 4-speed manual. Do we really need power windows in a Ram Charger? I don't think so.
I'm not going to see seatbelts.
Seatbelts it probably has. Have any of you had a second gen Dodge Ram truck?
Dan E. Boyd is here.
Hello, Dan E. Boyd. Good evening.
Barracuda's here.
Hello, Barry.
Barracuda likes the joke that believes it.
You got to remember it, Barry.
Then says this duster is kind of beat. You know what? My glasses are super.
Well, the front bumper is pushed in a little on the left. It's got this. It's got that. It's not a restored car. They're still using it every day.
Give me a second while I clean my glasses.
Believe says hi to Dan, which he also saw earlier today. He also saw Dan earlier today. I don't take it personally anymore when Steve Leto or Buff or Tony or anybody doesn't read my comments. I do my best comedy and they don't even look at them. It gets frustrating, but I'm used to it now. CD Burlock says, I have 5 bottles of honey, got on discount at Walmart, $3 each. I'm not a fan of honey. I don't use it in anything. Yes, Stephen Andrews had a 2001.
Mr. Spec's mechanic uh, once brought me honeycomb. It was so good. With some honey in
Stephen, I'm trying to remember why I asked that.
it.
Oh, the seatbelt is built into the seat in that truck. So if the retractor goes bad, how do you fix that? You have to replace the whole seat or take the upholstery off and try to do it that way? Yeah, buddy, that's common. The dashboards, the recent Ram Charger we just took to Veracruz, the plastic on the dashboard was so thin. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. They sell dashboards here for those trucks that are made out of fiberglass, and they go right in, and they're a little bit darker than the original gray, but they will not crack anymore.
Brother says, yes, our dash crack too.
Mm-hmm. It's too common.
Buddy says, no. Jump Slipper says, Tony, he's the worst.
He cannot read every message, CD Burlock. He just can't. He scans them and reads the ones that he thinks everybody would want to comment on, or the ones that he wants to comment on. He will not read every message from every person.
Says, I don't know.
Except for at Zero, he reads every message from at Zero. Yeah. But they have a very, very long relationship.
Steven says, I don't know, never had a problem.
Because we saw one, the one we went to Guadalajara to get was a silver one, and the passenger front seatbelt was locked in place in the retracted position. So I don't know how you even get to it. I mean, there were so many things wrong with that truck. And then when we offered less money because the guy told me it had good tires on it, they weren't. They were all cracked right around the bead. So, I had to put tires on it, which would have been about 9,000, 10,000 pesos. When we offered less, they threw us out.
Silver says, be right back, have to look up somewhere. Steven Andrews says, hey, I was watching some old Dead Dot garage videos on his road trip to raise Uncle Tony in Dallas. Dale Simmons. Jamie mentions you at about the 57th minute mark.
Yes, he does.
Billy Carafano says, why is honey put in a bottle shaped like a bear? It should be a bee.
Because they get more honey into a bottle shaped like a bear. The bees are very small.
Also, it's easier to shape a bear than a bee.
Mm-hmm.
Silverluck says, I remember I chewed out Tony.
He probably didn't even hear it.
Barracuda says, I've just made a cup of tea and the tea bag has disappeared under the surface. It's too hot to go in. I don't know what to do.
Get a spoon. That's what they're made for.
Yeah, turn off the fan.
This one? Is that one on high? No. We're just going to get really warm in here. Maybe for you.
You will be fine.
You can't prove that.
I'm telling you.
Stephen Andrews, he was commented about something I had commented to him about before. So he was like answering what I said. It was like between he and I.
You answered that. Never microwave that plastic. What plastic?
Never microwave any plastic. We have had our mishaps with the microwave.
Me more than you, but yes.
Yes. Well, I've been using them longer.
Oh, fair.
My dad.
To be fair, nobody told me anything about microwaves before I started using them. Yeah. They were just like, here you go, use it.
Well, it should be common sense not to put.
No, it shouldn't be common sense because nobody even told me what it was.
But my dad was the kind, he really liked electronics. And whenever something new came out on the market, he wouldn't go, like when the VHS machines came out, he did not go out and spend hundreds of dollars on something like that. He found one, some way to bring it home without spending a whole lot of money. The first video game, Pong, he brought that home, all kinds of stuff. And microwaves came out and we had one in the house. I don't know where he got it, but He certainly did not go out and spend $600 on a microwave because that's money we didn't have. But we had all of the modern stuff. We never had a dishwasher in the house because I have hands. And dishwasher was not necessary ever. It's not really a dishwasher, it's a dish sterilizer. That's what it is.
Yeah, this is not sure what he meant. Oh no,
You already read that.
Okay. I thought it the chat moved. Um, it shouldn't be common sense because I know what an oven is. I've used an oven. I just thought it was a smaller oven, a more compact oven that you didn't have to have a stove on. Well,
There's no fire in a microwave. It's magic. Magique. Yep. Oh, I hope I'll be able to sleep tonight.
I took my pill. I need to be able to sleep because I need to wake up early.
Well, how are you going to wake up early if you took a pill?
I'll wake up early. Don't you worry about that.
Famous last words.
It doesn't knock me out. It just helps me go to sleep.
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
No.
Who's clicking all the 100s? And whatever that is. Party? Or is that a.
Party hat. It's a.
Looks like a corn on the cob with chili on top. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. See, I had a guy ask me about the Volkswagen, maybe a Brasilia like this, and I send him the nicest 1964. Could be a 65. The VIN says 64. The original invoice says it's a 65 model. So don't know what it be registered at. It has air suspension, all that stuff. Never answered me back. Not that I'm trying to put, I mean, I could go get that one and then have it shipped back here, then take it to the border without having to deal with any of the 7 million tourists that are in country. Mm. Because it's in a place where they're not going and they wouldn't go anyway. I didn't see a DDE video this morning. Maybe I missed it. Is nobody sending a message or? The broadcast is fine.
Yeah. Why am I on top of this?
I don't know.
Yeah, Uncle Duck is here.
Hello, Uncle Duck. Yeah, that's his brother's car. And I've also talked to his brother about it because his is a 64, mine's a 63. I just don't like everything he did to it. Four-wheel disc brakes and all kinds of stuff, creating all kinds of problems. Which obviously, but I did learn something from Jamie today, and I'm gonna have to go test the ignition system on my 74 Dart because it doesn't want to start. It's throwing a temper tantrum for some reason. I mean, we treat him well, but he hasn't run in, I don't know, a couple of years now. Just been sitting back there in the backyard.
Uncle Doug says he was a beater. Miranda says fixes of fury.
He did drive it across the country. He drove it to Plymouth, Massachusetts and back with his mother. Colin did, with his mother and his son in the back seat.
Uncle Doug says yes, wires and connectors make voltage drop, and each connection is addictive.
Yeah, mine just won't start. Like I've already replaced the ballast resistor, and he's just giving me all kinds of problems. The problem may be the ignition switch itself. That could be because it's really loose, and there's just all kinds of things. And then I have to put the alternator back on correctly. But I learned how to do that when I delivered a Dart to the border. Had to put that same engine too. Had to put the the alternator back on myself. So now I know how to do it. But if I could get that thing started again, we could take it out and use it, even though the license plates are expired by years and years and years.
But this is possible. Do you have a meter, DVM?
Yes, I do. I'm not sure I know how to use. I know how to check a battery with it. That's about the only thing I know how to do with the meter. The last time I was in auto shop class was 1984. So it's been a while. And this is the first meter I've ever had that never really checked anything on anything. I just put the key in and they always start and drive. And I got to do the video on my Fury because I saw undeniable proof that she moved all by herself underneath the car since she's been sitting there.
Well, don't spoil it.
Well, there's only a few people here. The car, she was parked there. Let's see, we got into this house in 2011. We probably used her that time in 11 or 12. I think she was parked in 2012. Oh, thank you, Uncle Duck. I parked the car there in about 2012 because in the backyard we redid my 63 Plymouth Savoy in 2013, and I was using her as a reference because they're the same car. You know, where this goes, where that goes, because we had to take the car apart to paint it piece by piece and then put it back together, put him back together. So I backed the car in straight. There was no reason for me to put the car in at an angle. And you could see the line where the cement was poured. You know, there's a rectangular piece here, there's a rectangular piece here, and there's a straight line going from here to the back wall. That's how I backed the car in, and that's where she's been sitting for all this time. And like a month and a half ago, I go out there and she's moved about an inch and a half to the left, all by herself. She's not along that line anymore. And I looked at the jack stands. It looks like nobody's touched those. The rear wheels are still on the ground. Looks like nobody touched that. But she leaked out all of her transmission fluid over the years that she's been sitting there. So, no, we did not have an earthquake. Nope, we're not an earthquake country here. So, there was a pool of transmission fluid underneath, directly underneath the transmission pan. Well, now the car is an inch and a half over that way, and the spot on the ground is not directly underneath the transmission. That's my proof that she was moved somehow, or she moved by herself. Because I didn't move her, Mrs. Spec didn't move her, and nobody ever comes into my house. You couldn't have. You wouldn't know what to do. And I just went out there today and I was cleaning up. My jack, my floor jack, has no pressure anymore, so it will not do anything. So that was not used to move the car. I'm going to do a video showing all of this. I put the car cover on her because she's camera shy, but I put the cover up underneath the wheels. Well, I already knew that, Uncle Duck. Not that she's possessed, but she is Christine's little sister. She's 5 years younger than Christine, and she's got the same personality. And that is not a joke. That's not an exaggeration at all. When I was 16, I had this car, and there was this girl that I liked, this redhead. The car did not like her at all. It wasn't a jealousy thing. It was the fact that she was not good for me. Every time this girl got in the car, something would happen and we'd be stuck on the side of the road. The car had no problem with her little sister, but did not like her at all. And the car was absolutely 100% correct. No question.
Says all mufflers will do that. G200 is here.
Hello, G200.
And G200 says the ground is sinking. The city of Guatemala Lake. No, we don't live in Ciudad de Mexico.
No.
No.
We're 8 hours south of the border, south of the Nogales border. So we're not down south at all.
Believe says you enter an alternative universe. You must be it.
This must be it.
Barracuda
Well, I
says,
wish it was a better universe.
Barracuda says, I'm right on top of the ring of fire. Buddy Carafano's here.
Hello, buddy. I know he was
Buddy,
here.
oh yeah. Three roots under cement made it move.
There has to be some kind of evidence because the jack stands are still under her where I put them. So it's like somebody picked up the front end with the jack stands and moved her over like an inch and a half and put her back down. That's what it looks like.
Uncle Doug says, make an offering, burn some sage.
Oh no, 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 no. I have no problem with her being like this at all.
Believe says it was squirrels.
I haven't seen a squirrel around here ever.
No.
We have chickens.
Firefly's here.
Hello, Firefly.
Firefly gets blinded by the headlights of Christine.
They weren't that bright.
Firefly
They were not LEDs.
Firefly says, good evening, all. Then this is aliens. Sam says, oh, hello to Firefly. Uncle Doug says, yes, squirrels.
I can't blame squirrels for everything. I've never seen one here.
Stray Bullet is here.
Hello, Stray Bullet.
Stray Bullet says, hi, Spec family. And hi, boy. And hi, everybody. Uncle Doug says, hi, Firefly. Firefly says, hi, Uncle Doug. Stray Bullet says, that's not his Datsun.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at a Dodge. I'm looking at a Dodge station wagon, which is my favorite kind. They kind of cheaped out on the rear part of this car because the whole door goes up, you know.
Uncle Doug says, it's all the yard gnomes hanging up on you.
If it was them, I'm going to shoo them out of the backyard. How strong are roosters when they get together?
Believe says, country squirrels stay sweet. Barracuda says, never seen a squirrel here either. Seen him at the park.
Yeah, there's squirrels at the park. Squirrel. Yeah.
I've never seen him at my house.
No, they're not brave enough to come around here. We were driving down the street, like from the direction of the park, got about halfway between where the main road is and where we have to turn, and there's this, I don't know, 5 foot long iguana walking across the street, just expecting me to stop. I'm here. Stop. He was slowly walking across the street to get to a tree in the center divider there.
Chevrolet says, you will have to pay me to take that Dodge.
Why? It's a great car. It's even got a V8 under the hood. Not crazy about the brown door panels and red seats, but I'm forgiving.
Rafa says, I'm still tinkering with my speedometer gauge project. The AI lost its place in the project, and I had to remind it of every step.
Why would it do that?
Barracuda says, nice ride on that car. Fernando says, squirrels everywhere here, and bunnies. Uncle Doug says, we have these dang ground squirrels, and they get under the argue foundations and crack the cement.
How do they crack the cement?
Because they get under the foundation and they make it unstable.
Yeah, but cement is stronger than a squirrel.
But they are unstable. They make a hole and they make it unstable.
Oh, okay. We do have a tree in front that the roots are growing under the house and pushing the house up, but the car is really far away from that.
Yeah.
So.
Chevrolet says, I have tons of squirrels here. Regular says, lots and lots of bunnies here.
Everything where you are jumps, Barry.
Chevrolet says, I have never owned a Chrysler product. Uncle Doug says, they dig out the dirt. Uncle Doug says, and it rains and the cement sells.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I get it. Stray Bullet, I've had just about everything. I had a Volvo once.
Mercedes?
I had an Audi 200. I had a 73 Mercedes 220D. That was a great highway car. Diesel engine, 4-speed manual. You're going up a hill or something, you put the accelerator down and it fills up the freeway with smoke and people just stay the hell out of your way. Same thing happened with my 81 Buick Riviera diesel. You put the pedal down and just fill up the freeway with smoke and people tend to stay away from you.
Did you finish the ginger ale?
No. It's in my refrigerator, but it may not have any gas.
Pablo says AI is still dodgy. It will forget, it will be inconsistent, it will undo a few steps it has taken, and you have to catch it in the act, like a clumsy child.
So why mess with it if it's not dependable?
Hold on, I'm gonna get
the Okay. Firefly says at least Google's Gemini 3 AI, which is free to use. Earthquake did it. We didn't have an earthquake stray bullet, especially not one that would move a 4,000-pound car and put it back down exactly where I put it on the jack stands. I didn't even notice it until I was cleaning up around the car, and I go to the left side of the car and I have to turn sideways and squeeze past the fender now, where I used to be, walk with my broom and dustpan and everything easily and pass there. So something weird happened. I can't explain it. She's not telling me what happened. She'll tell me at some point, but not yet. I put her to sleep with the car cover on, so she's resting. Vilefly, it's still faster than I am at writing code. Yes, but if you can't trust it, how do you know it's writing the code you want? Say, Billy, you probably slept through it, Mexican. For an earthquake to have been that strong, to pick up the jack stands off the ground, move it an inch and a half, put the jack stands back down with the car exactly in the same place, that would have had to have been a really, really strong earthquake. And I might have slept through something like that, and Mrs. Spec wouldn't.
No. Also, we now have an alarm in our phones. It's a government alarm that sends to the area if there's an earthquake or something, so we can know ahead of time, so we can be prepared.
Firefly says, learn to use AI or be used and manipulated by AI, I say. Buddy, the car didn't move, the house did. Well, it's under a carport out in the backyard. So no, the line in the cement separating the two rectangles of cement is straight. The car is not anymore, and the car was. So I don't know how to explain it.
Firefly says, I know how to write code, so I can double check it. Jay Weiss is here.
Hello, Jay Weiss.
Jay Weiss says, are tires in Mexico good quality?
We're using mostly Chinese tires here. Unfortunately, I don't think the manufacturers are making tires in Mexico anymore. I think they've let it's kind of like Mexico is US from the 90s, where all of the manufacturing goes over to China, and people are just not making things here like they used to.
Barcuda says, do you have ghosts in Mexico?
Probably, Barry, and they probably speak Spanish.
Are you seriously asking if
Although
we have ghosts in Mexico?
They may be bilingual.
Have you not heard of the Day of the Dead? Have you not heard of the Day of the Dead?
November 1st, right? Day of the Dead?
Yes.
The day after Halloween is Day of the Dead in Mexico. Move the cursor. Firefly, would rubber trees grow in Mexico? I don't know.
I think so.
Are there any banana trees in Mexico?
Yes.
If bananas grow, then rubber tree probably would grow too. Did you notice this car that's on the screen, guys? This is the 1991 Nissan Sentra that was sold in the U.S., but made into a station wagon. The station wagon was never sold in the U.S. So it's got a different grille. It's got a different, they restyled the rear end. Kind of an interesting little car.
Oh, Kay don't play here?
Hello, Kay. Welcome.
They say, hey, yo.
Did you watch the latest video, Kay? Our tour of our park over here?
K200 says, how much give or take for that Nissan wagon?
I'd have to look at it, because it depends where it is in the country and how I get it delivered, either delivering it down south or at the Arizona border.
Our place says, oh, there's a native rubber tree there.
I don't know if there is or not, but if banana trees grow, then rubber trees would grow. Kind of the same kind of thing. I got to keep pushing that guy on the '64 Volkswagen to see if I can get him to
Thunderbird
answer.
here.
Hello, Thunderbird.
Hey, Thunderbird.
How are things up north? We're all missing Tony's live on Sundays. I still look for it at 5 o'clock on Sundays to see if he decided to do it.
Uppercase says, I was about to finish watching it and then seeing y'all was live.
Oh, nice. How far did you get?
Pablo says, doesn't know squat about plants.
None of us do, Vilefly. None of us have green thumbs. Jay Weiss, didn't they still make the VW Beetle from '60s in Mexico until '90s? Now there's dedication to a classic. Did they also make golf there? The last year for the air cooled Beetle was 2004. Jay, so they made it for a long, long time. Did they make the golf here? Yeah, yeah, they did. After they stopped making the Caribe in 1987, then they started making the golf in the Puebla factory, which is where all the Volkswagens were made.
Our friend says, how come the birds here? It was a difference from Greece. Jade 200 says, do you have a website, Mexican Spec?
Yes, I do, and it's mexicanspec.com. Lots and lots of cars are listed there.
Uppercase says 1 minute in. I got sidetracked, but I like those type of videos, so I'm gonna finish it.
It's a big park, so that's why it's a 45-minute video. And you'll notice the people. What I didn't say in the, because you see kids there in fine clothes and everything, but I forgot to say that people bring their kids there after church on Sunday mornings. So that's why the kids are dressed up, other than they're coming from a party, which is I say in the video. But it's actually they get dressed up for church, and then they bring them all to they bring them to the park so they can play or whatever before taking them back home.
Well, it's not that. It's not just that necessarily.
Well, no, it's not just one thing, but
it's the fact that, well, like in my case, I never went to church, or my family were Catholic, but we never went to church. But in my case, Sunday was the day that you got nice and clean and put your nice clothes to go out and show off to people that you were nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like you were on your Sunday best, basically, to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if you were going to the park or to hang out at lake or whatever. Um, Thunderbird says things are good. Questioning my judgment with the down trailer fix up project, but it will get done eventually.
Yeah, all of my cars will be done eventually too, Thunderbird. I may not be living at the time, but they'll eventually get done.
Regulus, what's Spanish for boo? Like the scary word? This is the same. Like what ghosts say is the same. Uppercase says I started it during the day, and it's best to watch till night to watch. Best to wait till night.
Yeah, because there's less kids running around.
Thunderbird says, I have a green thumb. What do you want to know?
What do you want to know, Vilefly? Thunderbird knows how to grow things. El boo?
Joey says, what do you think about Maple Leaf Motors and Vanguard Motors? Cool car selling channels on YouTube.
I don't know anything about them. Are they the ones that sell the patched together cars that look good on the top? I don't know.
Rafa says, oh, we were just wondering if rubber plants would grow in Mexico, but it turns out they already do.
I don't know if they do or not. I know she said banana trees do.
Rafa Googled it up.
He did?
Yes.
He didn't say that.
He did.
I didn't see the word Google.
Willis says, mother dragged me to church.
That's what you have to do with kids.
My grandma sometimes would, but not always. We were too bothersome. Thunderbird says, I've never seen a Thunderbird in a movie other than the 67, 69 Thunderbird that you can see the bullet. There's a scene you can see one reflected in a glass door.
If you go on IMDb, they, looking for cars, they list the cars by the name and the year, and it'll tell you every movie the different year Thunderbirds have been in.
Jay West says, paint sake on that Volkswagen.
Probably. I'm sure it's been painted. Red does not last in our sun here at all.
Firefly says, Googled it.
Thank you for clarifying, Firefly.
See?
I didn't really believe Mrs. Spec.
You're such an ass.
Does it still have gas?
A little bit. You want some?
It wasn't cold enough for me last night. I took a swig, and I don't like the taste of ginger unless it's ginger ale, unless it's really, really cold.
I like it.
We won't tell them what the brand is.
Why?
Because there's people here from Canada. There's people here from Canada.
And you don't wanna insult them by pronouncing the name?
No, I don't want to insult them by telling them we're not drinking the one from there.
Oh, I tried it. It didn't like it. It's not my fault.
You told them anyway.
Thunderbird says, Firefly, I don't know about rubber trees, but I do enjoy growing things. We did a lot of gardening growing up. I want to try growing potatoes, Thunderbird. Specifically what are they called?
Russet?
Russet potatoes, yes. JY says, any Italian cars sold in Mexico? Fiat, Alfa Romeo?
Well, Fiat's, yes, because they're all at the Dodge dealer and Ram dealer. And we had Fiat's too. And yeah. Alfa Romeo, no, that's too fancy of a car for Mexico. Way too fancy.
Well, the car pronounces Thelma and Louise had Thunderbird.
Yeah, and they threw it off a cliff. A roadster.
But says there was a television show in the late 70s called Vegas that featured a Thunderbird as the main character.
Yeah, that was the two-seater, a white one. Yeah, that was before I moved to Vegas. That was before my time.
Bertola says, I know of a movie with a 55 or 56 Thunderbird in it. It stars a Judge Reinhold and Willem Dafoe.
Willem, yep. It's not William, it's Willem.
Willem Dafoe. Mm-hmm. Jewa says, Thunderbirds and Danny from Greece. Robert says, potatoes are probably the easiest thing to grow, but like anything, gotta watch for bugs. There's a type of bug that I think only eats potatoes or plant leaves.
Yeah, the worm.
Well, that's what
the you green
have
worm. They're for. So cute.
That's what you have chickens for.
They're so cute.
And I don't think we have those kinds of worms here.
My dad always no, those are tomato plants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad would always grow tomatoes, and the worms are so cute. I would go out there and let them, put them on my hand, and they have the little stinger at the back.
And your dad will get mad at you for playing with the bugs?
No.
What was his potato bug? Like an orange lightning bug. It was his Pimpmobile. Remember Pimp My Ride TV show? It was his, yes. Una says, boo mañana. Why boo mañana?
Because he's not booing today. We'll take it.
Papa says, caterpillars also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a type of bug here that I have no idea what they turn into or what they're called, but they're really cute. It is a caterpillar, but it's like really fluffy, and they range from colors from like really light yellow, almost white, to they go from like orange to yellow to red, and to black, and they're fluffy. But I don't know what they turn into. But the tomato worm is great fish feed.
I'm sure it is. They look really juicy.
Yeah, they're also good to feed your lizards and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But I like them. They're cute. I like the way their head is shaped. It looks like they have like a shield on their head, and when they're eating the tomato leaves, they eat it like down, down, and down, and that thing protects their head. I don't like tomatoes, so they can eat all they want to.
JY says tomato is a fruit.
I'm still not eating them.
Good. Thunderbird says, you guys got tick problem in Mexico where you are? Yes, we
We
do.
have every parasite for dogs known to dogdom. And
No.
oddly enough, oddly enough, I have not seen a tick in quite some time, probably because the chickens are here now and they get them before they ever come to me. But there was a time where I would go into the room, sit down with the dogs, and take 20 or 30 ticks off them. And that's just in a day's time because I've been doing it since I started picking up dogs off the street. And I'm a pretty good tick hunter, but there's none around right now.
But we don't have the same ticks as in the US. Like if you go out into the forest and walk around, we don't have the ticks that just crawl on you. I don't think so. They're not the same ones. Papa says seven dust is your well, seven dust is your friend in the garden. Works on chickens and dogs to kill fleas and lice and mice.
Hmm.
I like the anyway. Uno says, "Is this a bug for sale?"
Yes, but you don't want to know the price of that one. It's really, really high because the guy thinks he has a really, really clean car.
JY says, "How do you survive sitting in the back of a Volkswagen with no aircon?
You sweat.
You open the windows and go back."
Uh-huh. Well, not in a bug, but you sweat. That's all. That's all. You sweat.
Josh Homan is here.
Hello, Josh. Thanks
You,
for coming.
Josh Homan says, "Good to be here." Butterfly says, "Chickens are your enemy in the garden. Dig up everything."
Yeah,
Well, it
they're doing that at the
depends.
back here.
It depends.
They're always looking for bugs, so
You
they
have
dig
to
up
give
the.
them a place to dig up, and then you have to give them access to supervised access to the garden. Barracuda says in New Zealand we have wireworms. They bore holes through potatoes. And River
Mhm.
says, I was just about to ask if you have tried chicken.
They're not my chickens, but the neighbor has loose chickens. Right now, we have a hen with 7 chicks that are in the planter in the corner of my yard, and we're giving them. I'm giving them bread, and Mrs. Spec gives them grapes. And then there's one in the trunk of my Buick convertible, my '65 Buick convertible, and she's sitting on eggs that have not hatched in a long, long time, and she looks depressed, and she's not moving. She doesn't come out of there, and I'm giving her a little bit of bread also.
Uno says, Mrs. Did you find me any four-spoke wheels? Look at that soon, 5 tens of car show.
I haven't been looking for that. I don't know how I would ship wheels to you. They're too heavy to go through the post office.
What?
What happened?
The TV. Hold on. Connect. There you go.
The TV just went off. Where are we? Believe.
Believe says coming soon. Tick Hunter series.
Yep, I can do that. I've walked past dogs on the street dogs, and just reached down and started taking ticks off their ears. It hurts them, so they don't like it, but I've done it.
JY says Barry, have you heard of Kiwi band Dragon? Very cool band, old band. Paco Alpha's here.
Hola, Paco.
Hola. Dice, hola amigos, aquí llego tarde, pero llegamos. ¿Cómo anda el clima por allá? Aquí siguen las lluvias. Acá nada de lluvias.
No, mucho
No,
calor.
nada de lluvias por acá.
Mucho calor. Y
No.
un poco de viento. Por eso no vamos a quemar las cosas esta noche.
Sí. Thunderbird says, what did David Crockett say when he saw the Mexican army charging the Alamo? I don't know.
I wasn't there.
JY says, Barry, I have seen Americana car shows in New Zealand. Very cool. Alpha says, give the bird in the trunk some water.
I probably should.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to reach in there, and I'm gonna have to take the light bars off the trunk of the car and open up the trunk and give it to her that way. But she may flee.
Which is better, I guess.
Yeah.
Uncle Doc says, no offense, but that interior is ugly.
You don't like leopard interior? Everywhere on the headliner, on the door panels, on the seats. I'm surprised they didn't put over the windshield.
Regula says, yes, yeah, I quite like their songs. And they did well for themselves in Australia. Papa says, interior looks like an old CRT TV with bad reception.
Somebody liked it enough to spend money on their fabric and then have them redone.
It was his Barry. Also a cool card show in Kimo, not sure spelling. Another cool card show. Pablo says, oh, leopard print.
Mm-hmm.
And Bert says, he said, who ordered concrete? Pablo says, ouch, hurt my eyes. Pablo says, so true, waffling. Uncle Luke says they need single balls and leopards.
Are you sure they weren't already there?
Organa says it has been said that New Zealand has the largest number of American classic cars outside of America. What?
I'm not sure that's true because most of the cars that were taken out of the country went over to Sweden and that kind of area. That's where my 62 New Yorker wagon went in the 80s.
It was as Jay Wise says, I watched this Australian guy Fletch Classics Restos, very good content. Uncle Doc says, not sure at all, Mr. Spec.
It may be there. You know, they may have thought of it already. But people do all kinds of crazy things with Volkswagen vans. Maybe they got a sale on the leopard print. The guy at the fabric store says, "Here, just take it all," and that's what they did with it.
Mm-hmm. Triple says there's a lot of American cars in Japan also.
Yes, but I don't think it's a recent thing. Them bringing them over there. We were we had a customer come in 1988 and he wanted as many step side trucks as we could get, no matter the year. And he bought a few new Fiero GTs and a few other things because I had to prepare the cars to go over to Japan. There's a few laws that had to be complied with that the Fiero GT didn't. The front wheels stick out from the fenders because the front fenders kind of curve inward and the wheels are straight. So I had to figure out a way to make sure that the wheels were not sticking out from the fenders. And yeah, we shipped a lot of vehicles over there, a lot.
Pablo says, back, scratching parts for the project. Pablo says, everybody looks at cars.
I was looking at the two 1956 Ford step-side trucks that we were going to send over there and thinking, how is this truck going to drive down a Japanese street? It was so wide and the wheels came out right to the end of the fenders. Like, how is anybody going to drive this in Japan? But they took them. All of the step-side trucks we could find, they sent them over there.
Regular says there's a big American car show once a year here where I live in Cromwell too. There's videos of it on YouTube. Regular says they like our low rides in Japan. J200 says, do you like the Oldsmobile? Do you like Oldsmobile?
Oh yes, yes. Oldsmobile was my grandparents. They always bought Oldsmobiles and then sold their old one to us, which was a '73 Olds '98. And then after that, I had myself a '74 Delta '88 convertible and a few others. Yes, I like Oldsmobile. It's a shame what happened to them. Thanks, Obama.
J-Way says, from what I have seen, New Zealand and Australian collections of American cars is way bigger than Sweden.
Really?
Regular says, Fletcher's videos don't come up often lately. I enjoy them too. Hey, did you saw the video that I sent you? They were showing off the new car. They just announced
What new car?
the Mexican car.
I didn't see anything like that.
Then I just sent you the video. You can see it right now. They just announced the.
You can post a link there for them to see it.
It was on YouTube. It was on TikTok.
Oh.
But they just announced the Mexican car, the little Mexican electric car coming out. The president was driving it. They drove it into the when they were presenting it. They were presenting. They were explaining it. It's really big. I mean, the interior is really big of this particular car that they were showing because they were gonna have. I think they're gonna have three versions of it. And they were showing the one version with two doors, or 4 doors. Sorry, 4 doors. So it's a little van. And they're planning on releasing it fully to the public on mid-year 2027.
We'll see how that goes.
Antonio says Alberta has a lot of classic cars. I think largely thanks to the more oil-friendly culture. A sales rep once told me Alberta has the highest amount of exotic cars, second to only to Dubai. Seems believable. JY says, I think Australian and New Zealand people assembled American cars as imports. I don't think Sweden did that. I think Sweden likes 50s cars and part of the rock scene. But the Carfano says, my grandfather was an Oldsmobile guy until mid-80s when he found out his car had Chevy motor.
Still an Oldsmobile.
Trevor says, I bought an Oldsmobile from my grandparents, the first and last car that I ever purchased from them. Margola says, yes, surely Canada must have the most outside of the United States. JY says, Sweden imports is more of late too, last 20 years.
I took my driver's test in a 1976 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Brougham, the easiest car in the world to drive, and I got 100% on the driver part of it. It was, I didn't fail anything, so very easy car to drive. I was very confident in that car, and he couldn't find anything to take points off from me. So yeah, but look at the prices of those Colonnade cars now. You find a nice 76 Cutlass. It doesn't matter if it's an S or a Brougham or anything. They're big dollar cars now. They were the best selling car in the year, but you can't find one anymore. Something happened to all of them, so now they're a lot of money.
JY says, yes, Canada and like Mexico have some odd varieties of American cars.
Yes, varieties, but they're not American cars. The Mustang, the 74 Mustang 2 that was sold in Mexico with the V8 engine is not an American car. It's a Mexican car built in Mexico with Mexican made parts.
Barracuda says, up to the 1950s, most cars in New Zealand were American. Jeff Hutchins is here.
Hello, Jeff.
They say, hey all, haven't been here in a while.
You've been missing out on all the cool Mexican cars and trucks and a few vans.
Thunderbird says, I frequently see cars like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, but lots of Porsches and such. Someone in my area has a Bugatti Veyron.
I've never had interest in any of those cars. Would never buy one. Never, never, never. I had Farrah Fawcett on my wall in my room. I didn't have pictures of those cars in my room.
It was very, we like Mad Max cars in California. A few here. Everybody says mine had rust around the back and side windows from the vinyl top.
Yeah.
Buff the Campus is here.
Hello, Buff. How are you tonight?
Hey, Buff. Everybody says the Landau.
Yeah, my grandparents didn't get the the vinyl top on their old 98. After we got that car, they bought a 78 Cutlass 2-door, and since they lived in Los Angeles, pretty close to the studio, my grandfather was driving to a doctor's appointment, and he made a left turn, and a van from the studio T-boned him and destroyed the car, and he was okay though. And then so they went to the dealer and got an 80, I think it was an 83 or 84 Oldsmobile Cutlass 4-door, the one that didn't have roll down rear windows, you know, which was horrible. The only reason I know that is because when my mom got in an accident with the Olds 98, she got rear-ended in it. She rented one of those 4-doors, and I was in the back seat, like, where's the window handle in this car? I want to put the window down. No, you don't get a window handle.
Pablo says we all have pictures of Farrah Fawcett on our walls.
Yeah, not pictures, the poster. The poster, Vilefly.
J-Way says Mexico is like California for rust. Plus, California was part of Mexico in history.
Mm-hmm. But it's not all areas. If you want to look at like Baja California, they've got water on both sides of them, like Florida. Cars rust there. Cars rust where I am because we're pretty close to the salty water. But in the middle of the country, where you have Jalisco and Mexico City and all of that, no, there's virtually no rust there. Cars can rust, but it's more unlikely than likely.
Pablo says we also all remember the intro to the $6 Million Man.
Yeah. No 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 no. No 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 no.
Chevrolet says it was mostly from the rivet holes holding the Landau Tremor.
Yeah.
J-Way says La Bamba, Richie Valens. Uncle Doug says yes we do, and Bionic Woman.
Uh-huh. She didn't use many bras in that show.
Pablo says your poster.
30 feet.
Aparte.
Thunderbird likes the Mustang too, personally. It feels a little cheap after the 73 model, but like I said, the 1974 model came with the V8 engine under the hood from the factory here. And the guy sent me a message, either was on Instagram or whatever, and he said that he worked with the Mexican team in 74 and they put the V8 engine in the Mexican car because it had no smog equipment on it. And it was the smog equipment that was preventing it from being used in the car in the US because you couldn't put the smog pump and everything on the front of the engine because it was so close to the radiator. So in Mexico, it was able to have it. In the US, it wasn't. And then they changed that for 1975. So people don't want to believe that it had a, hey, this car had a V8 from the factory. Nope, nope, it's a 74. They never had that. Nope, never had that.
Soy Garfano says Ford Cutlass with slanted rear trunk.
Yeah, that was a special model that some people bought. I don't know why, but some people bought it.
Uncle Doc says was perfect.
Uh-huh.
Bowfly says, did someone try to use a blower motor as a supercharger on that?
On what?
I don't know.
I've heard of that.
J-Way says, I like catching these from time to time. Hercules says, in the 1950s and 60s, we got Pontiacs, Chevrolets, Galaxies, Fairlanes, Neos, Dodge from Canada, assembled in Australia and sent here. Compact Fairlanes too.
Compact Fairlanes.
The number says, also, I would not buy an exotic car either. Not like I could anyway. Low. I can barely afford a new underwear. Same Thunderbird, same.
I don't care how much it is. I don't care if I have millions of dollars in the bank. The car does not interest me. I see no use for the car whatsoever.
Joe Hutchins says, my parents bought a new 71 Cutlass with a 350 and PH400 in it. I was born, rode home in it, then they sold it to get rid of the payments and pay off the hospital bill. My mom's dad gave them a 200.
200 what?
Chevrolet says there are areas near the ocean that will rust out cars in California.
Yes.
They also used to use salt on the roads in high elevation areas. So the mountain area vehicles will get rusty.
Yeah, you can't just say it's from California. There's no rust. That's no. That's not a thing.
JY says, when are doing that live driving episode? I think you did that, Kiwi. Kiwi did that too. Good fun.
When are doing that live driving? Well, we don't have a vehicle to go buy to do the live on the road, and we're not going to do that this month because there's millions of people coming to Mexico, or they're here already to watch the games of the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, and we're not going to be able to get into hotels or drive around on streets or get into a restaurant or anything else. So we're just not doing that unless it's like to a place that those people are not going or would never go. And then the road back doesn't go through one of those cities.
Uncle Doug says, sold my sister a French 69 442 Foci for her boyfriend. That was a fast car.
And the 69 was a nice car.
Jubilee says, I have a 35-year-old F-250 that still looks almost brand new underneath.
Nice.
Sebastian says, straight 6, 303 63 Fairlane. That's the only car I remember until it was replaced in the early 80s with a two-door 75 Maverick, 250 straight 6 and C4.
Hmm.
JY says, Barry, do you prefer American or Australian cars?
But you're in Oregon, Jeff, so there's not a whole lot of rust there unless you're right at the beach.
Pablo says, I saw a picture showing a blower motor on the end of the air filter housing a snorkel. Not sure which vehicle, just caught it on the edge of my vision.
That was Roadkill, right? That was those guys. I seem to remember something about them doing it.
The number says, fingers crossed, but I'm most likely going after a remote fly in only community in northern Saskatchewan, Uranium City, if anyone is interested in a cool history.
Most likely going up to a remote fly-in only community. So you're gonna fly in.
Okay. Will the turtles here?
Hello, Will.
They say good evening. Berkeley says both, but I like the American ones the most. Fernando says, yeah, they're coming to Seattle too. Hey, the number says, anyway, there's an old car under a collapsed carport in the woods. I remember seeing some years back. Hoping to go see if I can find it again and maybe transport it home on the ice road next winter.
How bad's the roof gonna be though?
Margula says, we call them Fairlane Compacts 62 to 65.
The Fairlane was the mid-size car in the U.S. The Fairlane Compact would be a Falcon. Uh-oh, Will the Trill has unfortunate bad news, and I think it has something to do with his Mustang, but I'll let him tell the story.
Huh?
Go ahead, Will, tell the story. Because I'm subscribed to your channel. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the video was on there. I saw the title. What happened, Will? Jeff says, yeah, we have rust in Western Oregon due to rain, but absolutely nothing like Canada, Midwest and Eastern. Rain doesn't cause it because it's the mud and everything causes it. The mud that traps the rain, but the rain should clean the whole car off, clean off any rust. I mean, any salt and all of that. Firefly braces. Unfortunately, my Mustang was in an accident on the way home from a car show. How bad was the damage? I didn't watch the video yet. Was it front or rear? And is insurance going to cover it? The guy wants like 115,000 for this Durango because it's so nice, leather interior and stuff. It was the front passenger damage. I have Haggerty, so it's covered. Is it fixable, or did it get really deep into the structure? And will you be needing a Mexican Mustang? Thunderbird says, that's good. Barry says, yes, I was up close to a 64 Fairlane, and they are a bulkier car than my 60. Oh, yeah, the Valiant was a small car. The Fairlane was a mid-sized car that year. I was like, oh, well, at least it was covered. Well, yeah, but now we have to see if Haggerty will actually pay the claim. Did the master cylinder fail? He didn't say it was his fault, Vilefly. We have to ask that first. It is fixable. The inner fender is not damaged. Oh, good. So it's just the outer sheet metal. Good. It's not like it would be a newer car where it gets a little damage on there and the front wheel breaks off. It's crazy how much damage is done with very little impact on a newer car. I think wheels should stay on cars a little more than they do. You know, the whole everything breaks off. Hit a curb, it breaks off. Wheels should not be breaking off cars or trucks.
Why? Why are you laughing at me?
Because I want to.
Ah, bueno.
Will it real? My video explains everything. I'll go watch the video. Firefly. New cars suck all the way around. Well, if they did that, there might be a reason to buy a new car. Don't look at me like that. I mean, they don't do anything else. Everything is disposable nowadays, Strable. That's right. I watched a guy, he came around a corner in a lifted truck. Granted, it was a lifted truck, and I guess it was a little bit of ice or something. He spun halfway around, hit the curb, and the left rear wheel broke off the truck. Just broke right off the truck. Couldn't handle hitting it. It wasn't even going fast. Just hit the curb, broke the whole wheel and everything, the whole system off the truck. Wheels need to stay on vehicles for safety reasons. Thunderbird is remembering all the crash videos of Mustangs leaving car shows. Must be a curse. No, that's only on the newer Mustangs, Thunderbird. Very rarely on a Fox body.
Nevertheless, says the new Bronco has a ball joint recall.
That can't be good. They can't get the suspension right. Firefly can't even design a ball joint these days. That's some bad engineering. Maybe the design was right, but they didn't create it. They didn't make it right or something. Who knows?
Joe Hutchins says when cars get older, all of the seals dry out, pine needles, leaves, etc., getting everything, plug up, sunroof, drains, etc., and it rusts. Mud doesn't help either. We have lots of rain and foliage.
Yeah, I've been up there. It's amazing that people live in like the Phoenix area, the Portland area, and it rains all the time. But when it rains, they forget they know how to drive a car. Like they've never driven in the rain before. It's amazing. I understand it in Las Vegas, where it rarely rains. It rains a lot and the streets are a little bit flooded. People don't know how to drive. I can understand that because it doesn't happen all the time. But it's always raining in Portland.
Polycarpano says front head is better. Fender on bolts much easier than welding on new quarter panel.
That is true.
Hercules says I worked on a Rossi 63 Fairlane a few years back. I charged 9,000 ish. Show how keen people here can be on American cars.
But you probably won't ever have to be worked on like that again, because the person's going to take care of it. There is somebody that is.
Why don't you pull that and rest your leg on that?
Because my feet are really dirty. There's somebody that is sending cars or selling cars that are landed in Auckland, and they're asking lots of money for them. I see it on my Facebook all the time. American cars, whether they're in bad condition or whatever, there's always a big number on them.
Thunderbird says maybe the taller in charge mixed up his shapes. Instead of ball joint, they made triangle joints.
Maybe, yeah.
Rafael says ball joints have been around for 100 years, so there is no excuses that can shield the engineers from the searing criticism of us mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
J200 says, do you buy cars from the U.S., Mr. Spec?
No, I sell cars to the U.S. Everybody, there's so many people that buy the cars at Copart or whatever and bring them into Mexico. I'm going the other way.
Well, it says it's all goofy kids designing and engineering everything nowadays. The video game generations are taking over. Barracuda says, I think pine needles in particular cause rust.
Yeah, they trap moisture and all kinds of stuff.
Fernando says, same for Seattle, only worse. Rain equals chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Hutchins says, too many people here, especially in Portland, move here and have no idea how to drive in rain, snow, etc.
Not
But
good.
California says, living in Massachusetts first snowstorm of the season, people drive like they never seen snow before.
Maybe it's the attention span that people don't have anymore. They can't remember the last time it snowed. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with people.
Rafa says, I can only guess the problem is metallurgical. They probably tried making the ball joints out of aluminum. Chevrolet says there are still tens of thousands, 100 plus years of old Model T cars running and driving.
Yep. Easy to fix too.
Fernando says, "Ooh, I like that motor."
It's a very rare car, being that it's a Super B and it's a 4-speed manual. Too many of these were automatics. There's one 2 hours from me. It's this car, but it's automatic in blue. Probably still a fun car to drive, being it's a Super B with a 360 under the hood. But this would be more fun with the 4-speed. I don't like the wide tires in the back though, or those wheels. But like I said in the write up that I just posted, two F bodies, if you could call them that, because one was an M body with an F body front end, and the other was an F body 79 model. That there was a complaint that since Chrysler was having financial problems and everything when these cars were made, the workers in the factory didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the cars coming down the line, because you'll have Dodge emblems on one side and Plymouth emblems on the other, or there's all kinds of stories about that, and the cars were rusting from day one. The cars that were made in Mexico, there was fewer of them were made during the year, so the workers were able to put more time and more attention on each one. So I don't think these had the quality problems that the American cars had. That makes sense to me, and I'm sticking with it.
Joe Hutchins says, Firefly, I agree. Most part problems are the crappy materials. Triple says, like the aluminum bumpers, all twisted from impact.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous says, I heard of someone here that imported a '59 Cadillac. It cost them around 19,000 landed, but it was so rusty it was only good for some parts.
That's crazy.
Andrew says, price?
Lots. This guy wants a lot of money for this car because it's one of the manuals. This car I'm not going to put on my list for sale because the price would be way too high.
Ridiculous says, certain to the 2021 to 2026 Bronco Sport models produced before June 1st, 2025, having correctly installed front lower control arm ball joints. The control arm can disconnect, causing a loss of steering.
Okay, that's the Bronco Sport, which is the Escape actually. So it wasn't the problem wasn't the ball joint. The problem was the installation. It says.
Ridiculous says, Ford offers a free tow to fix this.
Isn't that nice of them? Instead of checking the product before it comes out of the factory, before it kills people. But somebody had to find that and then get the recall done, which means accidents have happened because they're not going to voluntarily do it. We know how Ford does on those things. I've already been around in circles with Chris, driveway of misfits on this car. I'm not sure if this is a US car or a Mexican car or whatever. We didn't have convertibles here, but it could be an imported German car. I don't know.
Backless is always putting out the product before it is ready, kind of like Microsoft.
Yeah, but everybody wanted that Bronco when they were coming out. Everybody wanted that name Bronco on their truck, even if it was an Escape. So yeah, never buy the first year model. But it looks like it went 21, 2, 3, 4. It went for five models. It would not be the 26 models because you said produced before June 1st, 25, which would all be 25 models.
Joe Hutchins says, I heard Ford quit making the Escape but still makes the Bronco Sport. It's built on. Weird.
Yeah, because the Escape would take sales away from the Bronco Sport, and they can charge more money for the Bronco Sport because it has the Bronco name on it. So yeah, that was smart marketing for them to get rid of the Escape. I'm not sure if we have new Escapes here. I don't
I
know.
think so.
I haven't checked what Ford is selling in a long time. Since they stopped selling car magazines now here, then I don't look at anything online because we used to have some really good car magazines here in Mexico that told us what the best selling new car of the year was, and how many cars were sold for the past 12 months and all kinds of stuff. Firefly does not like Escapes. Yeah, the on the Arkansas chase videos, the Arkansas State Patrol, somebody was trying to get away in an Escape, and all somebody in the comment says that the guy should sue Ford. That's all he said. The guy should sue Ford. It took a while to realize, okay, yeah, that's a joke. He did not escape, so he should sue Ford for false advertising. We had an Escape. We had a 2005 when I took possession of the 2005 Mustang. The the gold Escape had come in at the same time, and Ellie took that one.
Oh, okay.
It was not a bad truck. The 2005 Escape, not bad.
Oh, because you'll never escape the payment.
That's true. Yep. And you'll be paying on it even if you're not using it. It's crazy what all new cars cost. Now you have to pay for a car what you paid for your house before. Jeff Hutchins deleted his comment. You're not falling asleep, are you? Stop falling asleep. We're only about halfway through the pictures. I've always liked station wagons. This Peugeot is something that I haven't seen before. So the tail lights fascinate me. How they designed it into the body and everything, and what they look like. Firefly needs to stop ranting. Stop falling asleep. Drink some more ginger ale. How? Your hand is still hot. This looks like a nice family car. The station wagon. It's a shame it's a Peugeot. They love station wagons in the Netherlands. I heard the Netherlands are really flat. I do have this car on my list. I'm going to be publishing it. It's a 2001 model because a lot of companies came into Mexico and started selling cars in 2001, like Toyota, Peugeot, some of the other ones. Honda was here a little bit earlier than that. Do I like Saab wagons? I can't picture a Saab wagon. They had hatchbacks. I had a Saab 99 at one time. Couldn't get the key out of the ignition in the middle of the car.
Regulars in England, Allenman Racing are making brand new late 60s two-door Ford Escort, selling them as race cars for around 20,000.
200,000. Wow.
Well, says Volvo wagons are good. Leak of it though.
Yeah, mine wasn't a wagon. It wasn't. It was like a very early 70s that I found at. It was a Volvo something that I found at an impound sale. It ran and drove. So
Joe Hutchins says Ford sales are down a lot. The source I saw was partially blaming the loss of Escape sales. They thought everyone would just pay more for the Bronco Sport, but they didn't.
so they people are smarter than they thought they were.
Jan Andrews says nice, but Peugeot has been gone from the US since the 80s. Where to get parts?
On the internet. The
But
internet is everywhere.
Rafa says Saabs are so-so, fairly straightforward design. Silverlock says, what's that car cost?
It's honestly not a lot, but you got to add in, transportation and shipping and everything. So I'd have to figure that out.
Fernando says 967 Ford past the back.
Yep. People ask so much money for these Fords here. It's crazy. So much.
Rafa says nothing terrible to report on the Saab. Bullet says the only good Saab was the one with the two-stroke engine. Carafana says Taurus wagons used to be popular.
Yes, until it got around that transmissions are $2,500 for those. I stayed away from them like the plague.
200 says last generation FJ Cruisers can't find them for under 15,000.
Was that really roundy thing? G200, was that roundy thing that Mrs. Spec hates?
The one that looks like a toy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
I don't think they sold them here in four-wheel drive. I think all of them were two-wheel drives here, which is a waste of a truck.
It looks like a stick shift.
No, it's not. It's an automatic. It's a station wagon.
This says, and that Saab 92 motorhome was pretty neat.
I don't know what that is.
Buffalo says Saabs did have a unique low sense
ion sense
ignition system that uses spark plug as a flame and pressure senses fire conducts electricity. Miranda says my cat snuck in. Ooh.
We locked the door so the cat can't get in here.
Joe Hutchins says I prefer a Saab, bigger and fighter jet. They still make parts for them.
They should keep them in the air.
Carafana says like 67 Impala better than Ford.
Oh, me too. I don't like the 67 Ford. 66 and 68, yes, not the 67. The dashboard just completely turns me off because that's what I have to look at when I'm driving it.
Says FJ requires premium fuel.
Really? In a four-cylinder?
Barracuda says 1960s Valiants in Sweden were assembled at the Saab factory. They had some unique to Sweden parts like door handles and seats. Thunderbird says, isn't Saab a GM product?
You're asking that in the present tense, Thunderbird. Saab has been gone for a long, long, long time. They were a GM product at some point, and then they were sold to somebody else.
Papa says, I would advance with retard ignition timing, maintain peak cylinder pressure at 16 degrees after top dead center. Didn't work good after 4,000 RPM. Well, it says Spec is skipping a whole bunch of comments. Am I?
What comments? She's reading each one, Stray Bullet.
I'm on messages. Don't scare me, Stray Bullet. I am not.
Which one did she miss? The one that I read out? We work as a team. And she's falling asleep.
No, don't scare me, Stray Bullet. Which one did I miss?
You guys know where these taillights are from? On this Maverick? I don't see anything that you're missing. Saturn, C. Burlock says Saturn was rumored to use a Saab V5 3-liter. I don't think they used a V5 in it in a Saturn.
Triple says my motorhome comment. Motorhome.
No, she read it. Something about a Saab motorhome, and I said I don't know what that is.
And the Saab 92 motorhome was pretty neat.
Yeah, but then I said I don't know what that is. Buddy is right. It is from a Bobcat, Mercury Bobcat. G200 says Shelby. No, they're from a Mercury Bobcat, which was the Pinto car that was sold at Mercury. It's not two Pinto taillights together because you would see two reverse lights. It's one piece. No, Stephen Andrews, not Challenger. Nope, Thunderbird. Look up the 75, not the wagon, the 75 Mercury Bobcat at the rear of it. We got them all, Stray Bullet.
Wi-Fi, are we in Wi-Fi now?
Where are you? No, we're on. Jeff Hutchins says, I haven't seen any comments missed. I haven't either.
Okay. Then Wi-Fi says, GM and SAP team up at one time. The Saturn kind of copied SAP ignition system, but only to produce a cam sensor signal. When the spark plugs were worn, a cam sensor code would set. Wi-Fi says, no cam sensor existed on the motor. Wi-Fi says, a wild goose chase for an inexperienced mechanic. Triple says, mixing a Spec. If she nods off, just say, hit the brakes.
You'll know she nods off because I'll take over the comments. Or you'll hear me yell real loud, get up! She took a pill so she could be able to sleep tonight, so that's kind of affecting her. Don't know why she did it, but she did.
Have to go to the hospital tomorrow.
Stephen Andrews, look better than the Maverick Pinto lights to me. Yeah, it's just the extra part with the big reflector on there. But people always thought that the Bobcat taillight were two Pinto taillights together, and that's not true because then you would see two reverse lights, and it isn't. It's only one square reverse light on there. People really didn't pay too much attention to the Mercury Bobcats. Now, saying that, in a city here, there's a 1980 Mercury Bobcat station wagon for sale. It's white. It's got the 2.3 liter engine in it, but it's saying that the door latch on the left door and the rear hatch need work, and it needs a clutch cable. So I don't think they realize that you could just order from Amazon a clutch cable for a Mustang, a 4-cylinder Mustang, and it's exactly the same part. But I could drive that car home. It's a 4-speed manual. I could drive that car home with no clutch cable at all. I've done it many times in my Pintos over the years. You put it in first gear, you tap the key, the car starts and runs. You shift it, and downshift it. Fine.
Well, it says Google the Saab 92 motorhome Mexican. You'll want one.
Saab 92 motorhome. I'm not sure I would because it was a Saab.
You want to spell C?
No, that's for you.
Wildfly says hydroxyzine pill.
Hydroxyzine? Don't tell him what drugs you take.
Triple says sleeping. Believe in yourself says I told my carpenter I didn't want carpeted steps. He just gave me a blank stare. J200 says it looks like Shelby taillights.
No, Shelby taillights use Thunderbird taillights. The Shelbys use Thunderbird taillights. Right, Thunderbird?
Thunderbird says low. Wildfly says reminds me how cheap are drugs in Mexico? Over the counter antibiotics still in place?
No, you have to have a prescription for antibiotics because people were overdoing them, so they put that in there. But it's not hard to get a prescription for antibiotics if you need it. Not hard at all.
But the medications are still cheap. It depends on the medication, obviously. But yeah, medications are still cheap.
Yeah, I have every box of blood pressure medication, which is telmisartan, I take. It has 2 weeks worth of pills in it. When I cut them up, because I take half in the morning, half at night, it is like 100 pesos now for the box. So $5.50, something like that, for 2 weeks of the medication.
Pablo, this reminds me. Oh no, wait. Australia says those clutch cables were always breaking.
Mm-hmm. But it's not necessary, really.
Joe Hutchins says to believe good carpenter. Buffalo says so they locked them down.
Yeah, and a few other things you need for a prescription. But like we could go to our local, like there's a pharmacy down on the corner here, and they have a doctor that will see you. You tell him, hey, I'm not feeling good. He'll look at you. He'll give you a prescription. You go next door. You get your antibiotics, and you're done. So it's not a big thing.
They have like clinics basically in other pharmacy.
Yeah. You pay, what is it, 50, it maybe even like 75 pesos now, yeah, to see the doctor, and he'll give you the prescription. You go next door and you get what you need.
Police says if an elephant has the sniffles, does that mean it has junk in his trunk?
Yes.
Andrew says I delivered a whole day for FedEx with no clutch. Annoying, but yes, you're right, doable.
Yeah, but that's an older car. On the newer cars, you need to push the clutch in to be able to start it, and then yeah, crazy.
Thunderbird says, has a Mexican ever invented anything of note?
Television?
Color TV.
Color TV, yes. Does that count?
I'm sure, but I just don't remember it right now. But color TV is the one that always comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderbird says, what Shelby word you're referring to, Mexican Spec?
1969, 1970.
Joe Shulman says, I'm sure they have, yeah. Dean Stevenson is here.
Hello, Dean.
Hey, Dean. He's like 9.5 has arrived. It's gonna get
less Dexic.
Ralph says, I find that don't like metaprolol. That makes me feel pins and needles at night. Switching to nefeldipian to see if it's still effective.
I am so bad with the names of medicines. Mrs. Spec has a list in her phone of all the medicines I take. So if we happen to go into a pharmacy somewhere, she'll know what I need.
Yeah.
But telmisartan is the only one that I know.
Yeah.
To buy it, but you're not going to beat the price here. And insulin, we had to buy insulin for our friend, and it was, I can't remember the price, but it's nowhere near what they charge in the U.S. for it. It was very affordable. Let's put it that way.
Progress says hello, Dean. Dean says Gunkin is drunk. Meetings, believe. Dean says abreast of the changes, Barracuda, just the way we like you. 200 says, what do you think of the new Z car Mexican Spec?
The new Z car, that rounded thing, Z car. I don't think I've seen it.
Barracuda says, I don't know. That's what it says. Barracuda says instant coffee was invented in New Zealand, but not by me.
Are you sure?
Papa says, oh, I have to keep a list of my wife's medication on my wallet.
He does that for me. Because even the easiest names to say, I cannot remember them. But some of these names have lots of letters in them. Lots. And we always buy the generic anyway. So it doesn't come out to too much. And if we go on Monday, which I have to go tomorrow, unless you want to pick it up for me.
I can just
yeah. There's 20% off the price on Mondays. If you buy it on a Tuesday, they'll sell you 3 for the price of 2. So it still comes out cheap.
Steven Andrews says, never understood the 3-door on those.
Well, I'd have to look on the driver's side to see if they couldn't put it because of where the gas was. That's how it was on the Mexican carryalls. The gas inlet was right in front of the left rear wheel, so they couldn't put a door there.
Papa says 12 different medications, inherited immunity disease.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah. You have to watch if this one has a reaction with this one, and this one has a reaction with that one, and oh, that's terrible. and then she has to take all the pills.
Take 6 pills a day.
I take less than that.
Dean says, Greg's. We had a guy in Alexandra called Greg, and we call him Instant, name of the Greg's Instant Coffee. Pergola says, on the electric fence. Jennifer says, I'm, and Belfast says, interesting. Dean says, I'm pleased you are Thunderbird. Pergola says, Jetboat. Jennifer says, I'm not sure about the tail lights. Doesn't look like Thunderbird lights to me.
No, I said that they were on 69 and 70 Shelby's used the 1965 Thunderbird taillights. But that car had Bobcat taillights on it.
Papa says, too bad we get shot for being gringos.
No, you don't. Not at the border. If you go into, like, Buff always goes to algodones, which is cotton, um, the border towns are set up to service the American people, where they have the pharmacies, they have the doctors, they have the dentists, they have everything right there. So you could just go in, get right back out, and you're done, and nobody can say anything to you.
Progress tranquilizer rifle. It says, Butterfly, you'll be okay. Butterfly says, the interesting part is that she self-diagnosed her condition before the doctors could figure it out.
Doctors are not the smartest people in the world.
Dean says, as long as you don't shoot your mouth off.
No, you don't say anything to anybody.
Progress
You just smile when you walk into the pharmacy and tell them what you want.
Progress says, egg beater. Jeff Hutchins says, a Mexican invented the Mondragon. It's more of an update of another machine gun, but still. Plus, we have it a much cooler name.
He gave it a much cooler name.
Sorry. Progress says, oh, nice.
I didn't know that. How can a Mexican invent a machine gun when we're not allowed to be touching firearms?
Thunderbird says, oh yes, I see. I only have eyes for one style of Thunderbird.
Nobody could put the taillights from the 69, 67, 68, or even 69 Thunderbirds on anything. Maybe the 69 if there's enough room in the back of the car, but not the 68 and 67 because it's full length. You can't put just the edges, the sides on without putting the middle. It would look incomplete.
Papa says, wife has a master's degree in biology, so it came into play. She thinks like me.
Yeah, that's good. You have to double check. My dad one time went to the doctor, and they gave him, here, take this pill, this pill, this pill. I don't know what it was for. He came home, got his book out, and said, look, if I take this pill with this pill, it's going to kill me. There's a reaction right there. It says right there in the book. So he went back to the doctor and said, no, I'm not taking these. Give me something else. The doctor didn't even look that up. This was before all the computer crap. But no, the doctor didn't even pay attention to that.
Dean says, that's called being discerning, Thunderbird. You'll get used to it. Jim Hutchins says, old school doctors were way better than new doctors, just like mechanics.
I have an old school doctor. I've been going to him for over 20 years. He has my whole history in his computer, and he's getting close to retirement, he said. So I don't know who's going to be the new doctor, but we'll see who he gives the whole file to. But yeah, he studied in the U.S. He studied in Mexico. He knows both sides, and he's very good at what he does. I trust him. He doesn't, mess around or anything. He tells you the way it is, and that's it. I don't like doctors that, oh, I don't want to tell them. I don't want to tell this. No, no. Tell them how it is, and that's it. It's their life.
Believe says, I just finished reading a book about the world's greatest basements. It was a bestseller. Butler says, yep, yep. Dean says, as long as she loves your biology, Butler. Butler says, doctors that are lazy are the worst.
Yeah.
Number says, does anyone know the look of a 1972 Thunderbird? That's probably my favorite looking bird.
Why? Why would you like a 72 in particular, Thunderbird?
Butler says, loading. Hutchins says, that machine gun was from many decades ago when there were lots of guns in Mexico.
There's still lots of guns in Mexico. As citizens, we're just not allowed to have them.
Regular doctors used to come to your house.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone says this truck has an identity crisis at GMC Custom Deluxe.
Yeah, the tailgate is GMC. I asked the guy about that. He says it is a Chevrolet. He just put a GMC tailgate on it because that's what he had to put on it.
Fireplace says, same as my job. Just tell them how it is.
Yeah, I don't like doctors that, don't tell you what you need to know to make the decision for your treatment at all. I don't like that.
Believe says, if a bee is bothering you, don't swat it and don't run away. Just look at it because seeing is believing. Dean says,
I don't think that's going to work, Believe.
Dean says, some still do if you're really sick. Mexican inspector will tell you. We'll tell you about those. We call them corners.
That's after you're really sick.
Firefly says, I can't recall what a 72 Thunderbird looks like.
It's nothing special, Vilefly. It's not like the 71 that has the huge nose on it and the four doors and all that. The 72 has a flat rear end, tail light goes all the way across. The front end has a little bit of a beak. It has two pods where the four headlights are, and most of them came in dark green.
Joe Hutchins says, did you hear about the circus accident? It was intense.
Intense.
Joe Hutchins says, it is that joke night?
It always is dad joke night with Believe.
Yep.
Other people are jumping in now. We got Barracuda that does it sometimes.
Thunderbird says, the 1972 Thunderbird is a fastback, in my opinion. Looks good. The 1970 had a really weird bulky front end, but in the 1972 it mellowed out from what I can tell.
The 72 was a fastback? I don't remember that. I think it was a formal roof. The 70 did have the 7071 did have a fastback model to it. But I don't think the 72 did. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
This says fever is at the top of the list of worst symptoms for illness, while constipation is a solid number 2. Dean says he likes a regular gas in the 460 engine in the 1972 Thunderbird, 212 horsepower net in the T-Bird, 205 horsepower in the Torino and Cougar.
Oh, so they got an extra 7. That's nice. I'm sure you could feel it in the seat of your pants.
G200 says that 72 looks like a Continental.
Yeah, they were very similar in style. Although I would take the Thunderbird over the Continental because I don't like the brakes that are powered by the power steering fluid and a few other things they did with the Continental.
Dean says, I like the 72 T-Bird nose on the advertising. Fernando says, basically, the Trim Continental MK4.
I've never liked the Continental Mark IV. I had a Mark III and I had a Mark V, but I never liked the Mark IV.
Douglas says, oh, the 72 that was in all the police chases with the Dodges?
As long as the police chase was in a straight line. You ever seen one of those go around a corner fast? Kind of like in the Bullet.
Edward says, I think the 72 I saw for sale recently was a fastback, although maybe not called that. It kind of looked like that to me.
Compare the 71 that was actually a fastback to what the 72 looks like, and you're going to see it has a formal roof and then the trunk behind that. I don't think 72 had the 72 is like the Mark IV, and the Mark IV is not the Lincoln Mark IV is not a fastback at all. It's a formal roof on the car.
Joe Hutchins says, I'm a fan of LED lights, but those halo lights in that Mustang 2 are too much.
That's the first thing we throw out when we get these cars. We put regular headlights in them. They don't do anything for the car.
Silverlock says the 68 429 had the 360 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, I had a 69 Ford XL, but I only had the 320 horsepower 429 because I had only had a 2-barrel in mine, but it burned those tires just as well.
Fernando says only the 72 maybe. Pablo says, well, yep, things will fly off on those turns.
If you could get the car to actually turn, the front wheel just folds under and you keep going straight.
Your Shaman says 212 horsepower is respectable, but it won't exactly pin you to your seat in a 5,000 pound car.
Nope, not at all.
Dean says, I have a friend who does church stained glass repairs. He likes leaf lighting too.
Very clean Dodge truck there. Very clean. I've already published this one. No bites.
Progressive Miller Studios used to do stained glass windows. Robert says 1972 Ford 429 cylinder heads are dirt. B2B heads low compression, but the D3B are a bit higher compression.
You've learned a lot building your 429, haven't you? Is it a 428 in your 68?
He says, you know Kevin Casey then. B200 says, do you race Mexican Spec? A track time is probably cheaper in Mexico.
I haven't raced since I got rid of my 2005 Mustang in 2006. I haven't been back on the track. Did I get rid in 2006? It's 2006 or early 2007, something like that. Hopefully not, Jeff. Lead poisoning. Barry says, have you heard about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, but no atmosphere. Well, go lay down.
What about the trash?
Yeah, the trash has to be done too. We only have 90 more pictures to go. Fireflies, technically, anyone who grew up in the 70s survived lead poisoning. Or maybe it just enhanced us, Firefly. Maybe that's what made us better than the current generations. Thunderbird. I bring it up because there is a 72 Thunderbird for sale locally, really clean and only 4,500 that I don't have to spend. What color is it? Green, right? Seafoam green? I don't think they came in any other color. CD Burlock. Thunder. Ford changed the timing gear, backed off 6 degrees, made car sluggish. You got to do everything for the smog. Firefly. Knives on a lead sinker. You shouldn't do that, Firefly. Not good, even for you.
Lead sinker.
For fishing. This one is unique. Yes, this one is very unique, and it's got a V8 under the hood, so it's well worth painting and customizing the whole back of the truck. You know, like decking it out with a sofa bed and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely worth it. Thunderbird, yeah, and the timing got retarded. CDB Burlock, CD Burlock. This would be a fun project. It really would. We've got a painter here that could paint it whatever color you want. It's got a red interior, so it could be any color. And an interior guy that could create the whole interior back there. Thunderbird. This one is gold. They may not be original, I'm not sure. Gold. Maybe. Because they used earth tones and they used, like the tones of the jewelry. They did use gold and silver and white for diamonds and all kinds of stuff. Stephen Andrews, our house had a chimney covered with exposed asbestos. Survived that too. That just made you better. Just made you better. Firefly has a rock under the rear wheel though. Yeah, maybe the parking brake doesn't work because it is a manual, and that could be easily fixed. It's a Dodge Ram truck. It's a first generation Ram after all. But it does have the newer grill on it because that is the only grill that is for sale in Mexico for these trucks. Nobody has the plastic grill for the 84, 85, 86. They only have 91 to 93 grills for sale here. So that's what people buy and put them on. Thunderbird. Have you guys seen the charts that show violent crime massively surged during the time leaded fuel was in use? Check it out if you haven't. That may not have been the cause, Jeff. That Dodge Carryall still has the original grill. They're worth a fortune. But isn't it a 91 grill? G200. Do you restore cars, Mexican Spec? If a customer pays me, to have it painted or whatever, yes, we'll paint it. But I don't have a shop that I restore cars in. That's the goal for me, to open up a shop, and while I'm still selling cars, to be restoring Volkswagen Beetles and all of the mini trucks that used to be in the US that are now here. The Datsuns, the Toyotas, the Couriers, the Chevy Loves, Nissans, all of that stuff I would restore and then send back to the US for sale. Because isn't that what everybody wants? Their mini truck back? And if it could be new engine, new transmission, new paint, it's going to be worth a lot of money. No guarantee though. Firefly. Lead did increase aggression. Dirty Harry was our hero though. CD Burlock. We used to siphon gas during the leaded gas area. Yeah, you do what you had to do until they put those things in the gas fillers. You couldn't do that anymore. Jeff says the Thunderbird. I saw that. I would say cultural decline was a bigger factor, but they would say lead was the cause. Who knows? Or people fed up with all the crap that was going on at the time. Wildflight. Clint Eastwood fixed it. Oh, this spec is making me tired.
No.
Yes, she is. I guess Mo Parquet is watching our video right now.
I'm gonna start the trash.
Okay. I haven't done the litter box. Thunderbird. We now know that lead messes with brain function, which could explain a jump in violent crime. Yes.
Oh.
CD Burlock. Mexican Spec. They want smog exempt cars here. They want smog exempt cars here. Well, in order for me to send a car to California, it has to be 1966 or older for it not to be ever smog coming into the state. And most people don't want those. Even a Volkswagen Beetle, they don't want them. Jeff Hutchins, the replacement Dodge grills don't have the Dodge lettering in them. They're just chrome. Yes, 91 to 93 grill. That one is not original to the truck, but an original grill. I'd have to look at the ones they're selling here because they probably do have the Dodge on them. They're just gonna make the mold and sell whatever was there. Buddy, Back to the Future Toyota truck was popular. One just recently sold here, or it looked like it anyway. Yeah, but nobody knows where the original truck went. It was sent back to the dealer and was sold to a customer. So nobody has the VIN to track that truck down because they didn't since it was never actually sold to the studio. They didn't take note of the VIN. I was gonna say VIN number, but I can't do that. Of the VIN on the truck to track that specific truck down. But people are making a lot of copies of it, and they're asking lots of money for them. Firefly. Well, when the lead levels get high enough, the victim gets like a drunk person, included slurred speech. By then, it's too late. Yep. Stray Bullet. Humans were violent long before anyone heard of gasoline or lead in the paint. Lead angry, langry. Firefly. There were so many reasons in the 70s for people to be angry. I don't think you can really come down to one thing. Jeff, we're even more violent now if you ask me. Unleaded gas is basically gone. Leaded gas is basically gone. Unleaded gas is everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, people are definitely more angry now because they have nothing to do in their life. They don't put any effort into surviving anymore. So they can go out and look for problems, and then they just need more things to do. That's all. How much you think the wheels and tires are worth on this truck or cost? The wide wheels and tires. I have this on my list, but I didn't publish it because if you look at the rear door, they didn't clean off they didn't, polish the paint or anything. It looks like there's rust coming down from the rear window on the right side. So I didn't want to represent a truck like that. But a 4-speed manual Suburban is a very nice truck to have. Very nice. But he says, I've seen a few different people claim to have the Marty McFly truck. Nobody knows if it is or not. Because, like I said, they never recorded the VIN. As soon as filming was over, they sent the truck back to the Toyota dealership. So it was sold. And then they got another truck for number 2 that looked like it. It was not the same truck. Jeff Hutchins, if you get the Dodge and the grill down there, just import those and get rich. A pristine NOS grill in box just over $2,500. I'm not sure of the quality though, Jeff, because it's Mexico. So I'm not sure if the quality is good enough to ask any kind of real money. And I'm not sure how I would ship it there either.
What?
The full grill on the front of the Dodge truck, on the carryall that was sold. So $1,500 for those wheels and tires, G200? Really? Wow. That's a lot of money for wheels and tires. CD Burlock, you have to buy racing gas to get leaded. VP fuel. Well, I'm not going to be doing that.
Pablo says, well, there weren't any water quality tests in the Old West. We have a town in Missouri called Galena, big lead mine there.
Mm-hmm. Were people more violent in that town than anywhere else?
Tribble says, I wouldn't give a dime for the wheels.
People like them.
Hutchins says, yep, life's too easy, so people go out looking for to cause problems for others.
It's exactly right.
Tribble says, actually, the dog for the wheels.
I don't think they would go for that. I like these wheels because they're original to the truck. Those wheel covers came on the 88 CK trucks, and they also used them on the Suburbans of those years too.
Says, you guys know the show Ross Valley Restorations? I have the wheels from the Green Super Beat in season 2, episode 1 on the Thunderbird.
Oh, okay. I can't picture that right now, which season, which episode was in which season, but I've seen it.
Buckler says things were pretty violent in the Old West, Missouri.
Yes, it was violent everywhere because there were no rules. Now it's the same. It's just that more people get killed at one time. This has got to be one of the best highway vehicles out there for comfort, for everything you need, for room. The Ram Charger is nice, but this has a longer wheelbase, so things are smoother when you're going over the rough, the roughness on the road. And it's interesting how you can take a completely white truck and dress it up with a few, the colors on the side, and it makes it look more elegant. And then you got the running boards on there too, which are very common. But I don't like the mismatched tires. First thing it would need is a set of tires. But this one is an automatic. Every one of these in Mexico had a 350 under the hood. There was no option for the engine. There was no diesel. There was no 305. There was no nothing. Every one of them got a 350 under the hood. You stick with what works.
Senator says, I do love the old Suburbans.
The square bodies, yeah.
Senator says, what year was that? Was the Watts riot?
I don't remember. I remember the later one. When Reginald Denny was pulled out of his truck and beaten because of the other guy. Yeah, that was not good.
Brenda says 1965.
That's about right. It doesn't really help anything to burn down your own neighborhood. It doesn't.
Tony says, I believe. Jeff Hutchins says, I just watched Narcos Mexico. There were a ton of two-wheel drive suburbans in that show.
Yeah, because that's all we had here. And it's interesting. I've watched that also, and it's weird being here because a lot of that stuff happened right around us, right here in this town, like where El Chapo got caught a block from my son's school. Yes, that's
No.
the house.
That's the house where he was hiding, not where he got caught.
That's the house where he was hiding. Yes, so the cops were swarming that neighborhood. They didn't know he was up at the motel. That's where their point was. That's where their point of attention was. That house, a block from my son's school.
Police says, what kind of fur can you get from an elephant? As far away as you can.
Get.
Versus Steven Andrews, you drive FedEx for FedEx? Papa says, looks like Galena, Mo was a pretty rough town in the old West States.
Missouri.
Silverlock says, did you see a documentary in the regional Denny?
No, I saw it happening live.
Papa says, oh wow. And Bartuda says, we have nothing but love in New Zealand. Ronaldo says, yes, started with Broadway, then FedEx, 1998 to 2010.
It doesn't say Dodge on this grill at all because Dodge is above it. But this is a 91 truck, so it should have that grill.
Thunderbird says, I was born in 1998. Low, crazy.
You missed a whole lot of good stuff, Thunderbird. Lots of good stuff.
Joe Hutchins says the regional Denny riots were early 90s, kicked off by the Rodney King cops being found not guilty.
That's right. A friend of mine was at the amusement park, Magic Mountain, when the news came in that the cops were found not guilty. And she had to be on the ground because people were shooting guns all over the place. They were pissed off. Pissed off.
He says that I like.
It's a nice truck. Definitely a Mexican truck. Club cab. I put on the internet extra cab. Some guy says club cab. I had to change the titles. But look how nice the interior is. I'm sure it's been redone, but they redid it right. They did it really right. Really nice.
P200 says, are 6 BTS Cummings common in Mexico?
No, we didn't get that. That was not in any of the Dodge trucks here.
Robert says, seems like Mexican cars were kind of a free for all during manufacturing.
Well, just like everywhere, they built what they were required to build with the parts that they had. Like you notice, this truck has power windows, power locks, automatic, no cruise control on the steering wheel because cruise control was not a thing in Mexico. They didn't put it in hardly any vehicles because most people were not driving on the highway. So it was not needed and people didn't pay for it.
Dean says, and we did have the highest levels of lead in fuel and paint that almost any country.
Hmm.
Triple says the guy that saved him said God told him to go save him. A voice told him to in his living room.
Oh, that's good.
Papa says I remember fishing around a lead galena ore area as a kid. There were fist-sized chunks of galena around. Its crystalline form is always pretty. Johansson says, see how that red slash white Dodge has a chrome grille with the earlier block letters above it and the block letters on the tailgate?
Yes.
Wrong in the US. Don't know for Mexico.
It's hard to tell in Mexico because I don't know where I would find the original sales brochure for the truck, but that's how it is right now. It doesn't say Dodge anywhere on the grill.
Firefly is drawn to shiny, bright objects. Same Firefly.
Most of us are Firefly, especially if they're cars.
Holy Carofano says, never understood why people take radio out, leaving halt and dash when selling their car.
Because they don't want the stereo system to go with it. They should have just not put a stereo system in the first place.
Dean says, Firefly equals magpie bird.
I think he's smaller than that. Like this shiny object here, Vilefly. Some guy says, oh, it's just a GTP. It's just a GTP with 60,000 miles on it in perfect condition with those wheels, beautiful leather interior in black, and a supercharged engine under the hood. So yeah, just a GTP. I told him, go look to see what these have sold for recently with this kind of miles on them.
Joe Henry says Dodge diesels with manual transmissions weren't available with cruise until 1992-93.
Yeah, but that one, we don't have diesels here, so you won't find cruise control on hardly any vehicle in Mexico. Maybe this 99 model, because by this time people were driving on the highway more. But in the early 90s, no, not a thing.
Senator says, you know my beef, people who buy classic cars take apart a few things, lose the keys and the battery strap and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian says mini
Magpie.
Papa says, oh nice. Jesus is a pilot. Dean says Jesus is on angle.
I don't use cruise control anyway. I don't like it.
Papa says just needs a smaller pulley on the supercharger.
Well, I don't want to blow head gaskets.
Dean says he's off kilter.
Well, we are back to the beginning of the pictures. So, are we done for the night?
I think so. At least I am.
I think we're done for the night because Mrs. Spec is tired. We have to throw the trash out because it's Sunday night, and she has to be up early to get to the hospital. Clinic, whatever. It's in the hospital. Wow. Stray bullet. Diesel is 70 per gallon there.
Wow.
Oh, man. That must be bad for the guys that have the diesel trucks and everybody that drives a delivery truck. Jeez. That has to be affecting everything in the area for deliveries. Oh, Dead Turtle's here. We're just finishing up Dead Turtle. Sorry about that. Thunderbird, can you tell by the price of the diesel where he is? You nailed it. Time for bed, yes. Steve Andrews, too, loves cruise control, lets me concentrate more. I concentrate on my driving. That's all I do. You'll notice if you were on the lives with us, I didn't need cruise control because I'm adjusting the speed all the time for who's in front of me, who I want to get around, all of that. No, I do not want to be, I don't want the vehicle to be controlling anything. I'm the driver.
Kim Passable says thanks for the picture show.
Hey, Kim. Hope you're doing okay where you are. Jeff, I'm saying many U.S. models didn't prioritize cruise control either. It was put in early. It was an early Chevrolet Celebrity had cruise control. You know, all of those cars did, but it wasn't a thing in Mexico.
The turtle says, hope all goes well at the clinic. Yeah, I'm just going to get an appointment with the endocrinologist. Hopefully I get one because there's only 2 per day.
If you don't get there early to get an appointment, then you don't get it.
Yeah.
Jeff is a cruise control addict. No, I don't care what vehicle it's in. The last Ram Charger we took down south, didn't use it at all. I like controlling the vehicle. Doesn't matter what kind of vehicle it is. Okay, guys. Good night, everybody. We will see you next week on Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Good night.
Bye-bye.